Jason Hatt is a veteran that served in the U.S. Army from 2001 to 2021. He was, how he described it, a glorified travel clerk. He spent most of his time in service at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. He was stationed in Hawaii and Afghanistan too. Most of his job as a travel clerk involved payroll and college classes, which part of the reason he joined the Army was for free classes. So it seemed pointless not to do this in his free time. Starting off with his life before the military, he worked on furniture in Robizonia for most of the year, being laid off from work June to September. He described the conditions as,
I went back to work 3 weeks. I went back to work 3 weeks before she delivered, but I was off. I was off the whole summer with my pregnant wife, and that was kind of cool, but there wasn't a lot of money coming in. I was laid off. I was collecting unemployment, and I was working at a friend's restaurant.
at this point in time, he had one child with another 1 month away. He was laid off of work and had to collect unemployment for a little bit. And during this time, he was thinking about how expensive college was. He thought about joining the Army.
And I thought, I just happened to be sitting watching TV one night, and one of the, be all you can be in the Army, join up and get some college money comes on, and it sounds very cliche, but that's, the next day I called the recruiter, and the rest is history, as they say.
From here, Mr. Hatt enlisted and arrived at basic training. During basic training, he had a blast. He said it was a combination of football camp and Boy Scouts, the football part being morning physical drills, and the Scouts part being more technical gun shooting parts and ways to survive. He grew up around guns, so he helped out a lot of people who had never touched one in their life. He had all this previous knowledge and experiences, so most of the training was very easy for him. He was on the good side of most drill instructors because they could worry about other things while he helped out the people with their technique and their stance and basics about shooting a gun. His least favorite part about basic training was cleaning, which he didn't mind that much, but he described that
being someone that's going to jump in and make sure the work gets done, I'm there working and cleaning. However, as is normal in a group of 50 to 60 people, there's probably only going to be about half to 2/3 that are actually working, and the rest are not doing anything or making them look busy when they're not. So being one of the people that was working and cleaning and trying to get done, it was a hindrance to those of us who were busy cleaning away so we could be done.
after completing basic training, he was stationed on Fort Bragg for quite some time. He completed college classes and did payroll for most of his career in the Army. He said that there were numerous stories that he could tell during his experiences, but most of them would not be appropriate enough to speak out loud. He described one for when he was in Afghanistan.
And I just happened to look in the back window of the vehicle I'm driving, and I see flames coming out from under one of the vehicles. And we are towing now. We're about 10 hours into a 12-hour trip that should have taken less than 6, because we had to stop for broken down vehicles. And I look back and I see flames coming out from under one of the vehicles.
Lastly, during the interview, he talked about his experience near the end of his career and right after retiring. He said that he felt like he needed to stop because he was physically and mentally exhausted from being in the Army. Right when he was talking about leaving the Army, he was deployed to Afghanistan for 15 months, and after being brought back, he spent a little bit more time, a month or so, in Fort Bragg before being sent home. But he talked about how one of the higher-ups said to him about how difficult adjusting back to civilian life would be, and it was for him. And here's his story about that.
Stepped up and became the man of the house, and he would start doing stuff like taking the trash out and that type of stuff. Well, I came back on a Monday. The kids were at school. Trash went out on a Wednesday night. no big deal. He took it out. I came back that Thursday. I came back from something. Came back from the house. The trash had gone, so I just, without thinking, I pulled the trash can in and put it where it belongs. And my son comes home from school. He sees the trash can's not there, looks around the back. He comes in and he was upset because I had brought the trash can in. He comes in and he's got tears in his eyes and he's sobbing. He's going, I hate that you're back. Or sorry, you took my job. I want you to go back to Afghanistan. And it was funny and sad all at the same time because they tell you that reintegration, getting back into your life, is going to be hard. They tell you, and you don't realize it at the time.
He did receive a Meritorious Service Medal due to his 20 years of experience, and overall, he didn't have much combat experience at all, but his Army experience was really helpful for the Army itself. His highest rank achieved was Staff Sergeant, and he is now living at home with 4 kids and his wife. Thank you for your service, and I wish you the best luck for the rest of your time here with us on Earth.